Hello, good morning and welcome for a Saturday morning. It's absolutely beautiful day here in my part of the UK. So for today's video I thought we'd have a look at detailing. There are numerous ways to get details and I'm going to show you one of them in this. As I said, there's numerous ways to get details in oil pastel. There's scratching out, there's impasto effects, but the detailing can be rather sketchy sometimes, excuse the pun. So sometimes it might be that you want some more refined details, and I'm going to show you how you can get that. And I'm going to use my tiger painting using the Montmartre oil pastel to demonstrate how to do this. Right, the first thing you must realise that to get perfect detail in oil pastels is almost impossible. There's quite a lot of detail in this picture, I think you'll agree, and they've all been done with the Montmartre oil pastels. There's no pencils or anything like that involved, and you know, I've got a long way to go yet, but there will be probably some more refined detail going on as we get further into the picture. A lot of this detail has been done by scratching out. But there is an opposite way of scratching out as well. What I mean to say by that is when you are rendering your picture, obviously, unless you didn't know, you put the colour underneath a darker colour and do your scratching out. But sometimes we might want to go the opposite way of getting some lighter colour onto dark. And that's a completely different ball game altogether. And usually not quite possible. It can be done by using a soft pastel or an impasto effect. Further on from that is you will get mixing in with other colour. So your highlights, if you put them on and you want to refine them a bit more, it's likely that you could end up losing them. So I'm going to show you how we can make that better. Let's get back to my tiger. So as you can see in this part of the picture here, I've kind of made it look a little bit translucent. You've got green shining through the white, and hopefully eventually I'm going to have it looking more like water than it is right now. It's looking like water, but it's not completely finished. Also here we have highlights or sheen that is going over the top of the water, and obviously a bit brighter here because it's bubbly, and we have all this colour showing through. But here you can see it's kind of lost its shine a bit, and that comes from blending and what have you, and the only thing you can do then is keep adding over the top of it, and eventually you're just going to be skidding over the top surface. So one way of resolving that in this particular case is, if I'm going to put this in here, it's not going to stay there, but I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes, is that you can scrape back your oil pastel and then add the oil pastel in over the top, and you will get a brighter look. So if I was to do that here, you can see it's not quite as bright. So I can scratch out detail, use a little bit of oil pastel, press a little bit firmer and get a brighter look, and then you can use your colour shaper to shape that and make it look brighter. So you can see it is a lot brighter where I have scratched out. I'll show you that again. So we're going to scrape this bit out now. I'm going to scrape a little bit more just for demonstration purposes so you can see it. So I scrape all that out, and then I can add, bear in mind this is a Montmartre classic oil pastel and not one of the better ones that I could be using, and I add that detail in. I can press a little bit firmer and look at that. But if I was to do that here and press a little bit firmer, you can see it just mixes in with the other oil pastel. And then I can just refine around that and keep or lose whatever it is I want to keep or lose. And I can also blend it down and still keep that vibrancy. So I can just edge along here with my colour shaper, and I can keep some brightness. Again, in this part here where I was doing all this water, to get the vibrant effect I then switched to a bit of a Sennelier oil pastel because it was softer and it would come up brighter. I'll just demonstrate that here. But of course not everybody has got them. Look how bright that is. So say for argument's sake I wanted a few splashes coming up here. I don't, but I'm just going to show you. I could scratch back what I've already got. Get rid of the oil pastel. And I can then add this on top. Scrape back. Get rid of any bits of oil pastel you don't want there. And I can go on top. And I've done that in this case with a Sennelier. And you can see how bright that is coming up. Now, if I was to just go on top with ordinary oil pastel, that wouldn't be as bright as that. And also, it is possibly going to mix in with what's already there. And then I can just shape everything to my heart's content. And get rid of colours and negatively paint into that if I want to. So for example, I just messed up there, I can just paint around it with the particular colour that I want. I'm not doing it exact at this moment in time because I'm trying to keep it short for you on video. And then I can just paint back into it. And I can bring up them details. That technique is what I did here. I coloured all this background part in and then I scraped back bigger areas of where the real highlights are and other areas here where I wanted the blue to go, so that it wouldn't mix in and would look a little bit cleaner than putting it on top of that. And I think I've achieved what I need. I'll just keep adding to that as I need to, and adding bits of water foam on top like this, and hopefully by the time I've finished it's going to look somewhere normal. Same with here. That's a way of doing it without mixing it into other oil pastel that's already on your paper. Of course there is the scratching out technique, but that causes problems in itself, because if you were to put the white underneath here and then put the background, the darker colours on, in this case the orange and the black, and then scrape it out, you're in danger of not getting such a bright white. And you are also in danger of mixing in some of this colour with the white. It can be done, but it's kind of tricky. This is so much better. You just scrape back what you want and add a highlight. And that way you'll get some even better highlights. And of course the softer the pastel, the easier this is going to be. I'm going to alter all this. I'm not going to leave all these blobs over here. I'm going to recover them over. I just done this for demonstration purposes. So what this all amounts to is that sometimes to go forward, which is what we're obviously all trying to achieve, moving forward in ever increasing layers, so to speak, to do that sometimes you actually do need to go in reverse, and you need to get rid of some of them layers so you can lay on the lighter colours over the top. You can do it with a softer pastel. You can do it by using the scrape back method, but using this scrape back method gets you a cleaner colour. So like I said, sometimes go backwards, remove some paint to add on the lighter colours. This will help you to get what you want, and then you can just manipulate everything with colour shaders, cotton buds, whatever it is you use. I hope that tip was useful to you. I would obviously take a lot longer on this, and you know, it's up to you to now have a bit of a play at trying to do that. So whomever, wherever you are, please have a great day, great week and a great year, and of course be kind. Take care for now. Bye.